Alright, next step is we are going to do the positive battery. And let's see if you can see this button. God, that glare is just not working. Not focusing well either. Wonderful. There's like a little slot. There's a slot in there, and basically where we want to rest the wire. And again, we don't want to spend too much time on that thing where all the plastic's gonna melt. And we're using a much burlier, this is 14 gauge wire. Alright. If any of you are wondering, I do have a helping hands, and I don't think it's a very helpful helping hands, so I tend not to bust it out. Alright, we have that tinned, and that is off cam. Right. Let's try and get the solder all nice and molten. Before setting it on the button. I'm trying to get that whole thing to take without the plastic melting. Which it did, so just press that back into place. If you use much thinner wire, then the amount of time that you're spent in contact with this button is less, and you know, that's how I figure how they're not melting these things at the factory. Alright, we'll leave that aside for now. And now for what I think is the most interesting part of how I approach this, is the battery sled. This entire thing is a pain in the fucking ass to get in and out and to work on, and so let's see, just right there, right between the screw hole and the and the positive sign that's on the sled. Go ahead and make a cut. And the same thing on the other side. And that should do it. Alright. So this is the bottom part of the sled, and the only part that's really important to have. And so we can work on this one piece at a time instead of having to wire the entire sled, and everything gets all bulky and turns into a pain in the ass. Alright, before we put the chip into the chassis, I need to figure out just exactly how long we want this to be. That's pretty much the last thing that's going to go in before we button everything up. Alright. Oops. Just get an idea. Which we're going to want. Yep, I'm gonna snip it right there. With the button in position. Right. Notice I have that at a right angle. That's actually how I'm going to tin it. And for good reason, as you will soon see. Okay. We will now solder the button, positive button onto the board, and then there's just one more soldering connection after that, and then that's it with the soldering iron. Adjust it over to the side a bit. It's not where we want it. Right on top. Right there. All right. And at this point, let's go ahead and install the board into the chassis, going through you're going to come in at an angle. One step that we need to do. Before you put in the board, the fire button. Now the fire button in and of itself, because of this cutout, it won't click. So what you do is you take a piece of scrap plastic. That's what I got here. This was 0.7 millimeter, and seemed to work out alright. And we'll take some crazy glue, dab some there. Alright, and that should that'll allow the button to press against this and to click this firmly. Alright, and we are going to drop the button down there. And then now we can slide the board into place. And down below, actually the black wire, something I do with that. the red wires only red wires only come through. Alright, and we seat the board into position, and I always start by securing it with the one ground screw out in front. It's just easy to access. And get that almost tight, but not completely tight, because I'm going to screw in the side. This one we're not going to do yet because that goes to the ground strap. Okay, that one's nice and snug. So get that one nice and snug. Alright, now the board's not going anywhere, and fire button works. And you'll notice this is sticking out on front. We're going to tuck that through, because it's going to be going to the upper part of the battery sled. And we're going to finish this bottom part. Before moving on to the top. Alright, there we go. And at this point, I actually like to crazy glue this button. Not the other one, but this one. Just so it doesn't start going anywhere. Now it is held in place when we screw in the cover, but it's more for convenience during assembly. Now this balance wire we're going to solder in, okay, onto here. Okay, and where are these here? And then all we need to do is get that connection. Solder in there. And there we go. That wire's thicker, so routing it's a bit of a pain in the butt. Alright. And now here comes the fun part. The positive battery button, which is soldered to the board with a pretty thick wire. We need to set that into place. While at the same time getting the cover on and screwing it all together. And this is obviously very, very fiddly. And don't forget the screw. Spring. Yeah, this is gonna take a while, so I'm gonna finish this off cam, and once I've cussed it into place, we'll move on from there. Alright, stopping point.